Welcome, everybody, to the Genesis Mindset. An extremely emotional day today, not going to lie. Richard Hart coming out saying he's going to fight the SEC. Oh, man. Uh, I was a little soy boy. Not going to lie. I've been extremely emotional today, especially when I heard on Somi's video that all of this is because basically someone ratted him out. Some Judas ratted him out. So someone who put in, I don't know, $1,000 and he lost his $1,000 because he bought at the wrong time, basically ratted out Richard Hart, and he would have received 4 million of the 12 million in the fine. So he gets like a finder's fee or something like this, some sort of incentive that the SEC puts up to entice people to rat others out. And when that really sunk in, the kind of damage that's done to so many people. But hey, just like everything in the universe, everything happens for a reason. I really 100% believe that the destiny of the world is predetermined from the beginning of time. We're just vessels that are going through the flow of nature, and we think we're in control, but the universe is doing absolutely everything. Everything is just cause and effect. We really don't have as much control as we think that we do. So it's okay. It's okay, because what's actually happening now is Richard Hart is fighting it for the better of everybody, for the better of blockchain, for the better of everybody. But it really did hit my heart, like the degree of selfishness in the world. That person doesn't even care that, like, how many lives would have been ruined. I mean, you think of Mr. Silvertooth, for example, like people like this who've been affected by the dump mentally and economically. And yes, it's people's fault. They should have taken more profits, whatever. But still, the degree of selfishness in the world, it's extremely disheartening. I'm not going to lie. It's something that I'm battling against every single day. It's something that I've devoted my life to battling against. So it was an emotional day, and I was being a little soy boy cuck in Sonny's pub. But I'm over it now. Didn't have a lot of sleep. I haven't been sleeping well because, again, man, just been going down all these rabbit holes with crypto, and like, now's the time to really be setting things up. And now's the time, especially after the pump, things are moving. It's like, you got to get into it. So speaking of getting into it, I'm going to read through this tweet. I'm fighting the SEC for your rights. The timing of this, we got the Hex conference, we got the sentiment in the whole Hex ecosystem and Pulsechain ecosystem starting to shift. We got the OA starting to pump the boys' bags. So, and then we have this now. It's like, I don't even think, I think that's another thing that I really, the gratitude, you can't, actually, as a matter of fact, I will sit here and I will say the red candles through the Hex bear market affected me. I got banned from the Hex Facebook page because I was basically being a little negative bitch, and I got banned from there. And so be it. But I realized, hey, I was being a little bitch because I over leveraged and I couldn't take the heat, and I lost too much money. Well, I didn't actually lose money, but I just wasn't as up as I wanted to be, and the tax that I had pretty much like destroyed my more or less destroyed my position, like 50% of my position. So it was a really upsetting thing. So I was also negative against Richard. I was negative against the Hex ecosystem. So I want to publicly say that I'm sorry to all those people that have ever seen me talk like that in that way. I've definitely done it in some other chats. I was wrong. I was affected by the candles. I was affected by the fact that I wasn't appropriately risked. And those were the things that were the catalyst for my current plan and appropriating my risk in the way that I do things in thirds now. But having said that, man, I really just want to keep degenning into Pulsechain because I still think my conviction just keeps growing every single day that this is going to be the blockchain, which is going to be the envy of the world. So back to this. So 11 of my lawyers filed this today. Ironically, today, the SEC's Twitter account was hacked and a fraudulent message was posted. That is just brilliant. So the blockchain literally solves exactly this problem. The SEC is attacking the very tech that it needs: cryptographically verifiable authentication, proof, and publication. Blockchains are the first and only immutable public ledger communications technology. Open source, peer-to-peer software. Millions of people use blockchains to publish pictures, text, messages, literature, and more every day. The technology is the future. We pray to the courts to defend the Constitution and your rights. Yes, we do pray for the courts to defend our Constitution and our right. And your boy Dicky Hart, comments are open. Beware of the spam bots, imposters, fake giveaways, and all the sucky things that are the reason comments are usually turned off. So all of these things have coalesced now. The Hex conference, the Bitcoin filing, Richard saying he's going to fight, his comment section being opened up, like the floodgates are starting to open. And we've had a pump. We've had a massive pump. We've had a huge pump in the last few days. We're only 30% away from the sacrifice rates, the pleb sacrifice rates. The whales are well and truly up. So again, like what a great time to be alive. And it's still a good time to continue to accumulate. I still think until the SEC gets resolved. When the SEC gets resolved, then the other whales are really going to want to start to flooding in. They're going to be, they don't need to like over leverage their risk. This still presents a risk to them. So I think once, and I think it's inevitable, I think it's an inevitability. Once Richard actually knocks them out, it's going to be, the floodgates are really going to open. And this is part of the reason why I believe we're going to be one of the envies of the blockchain world in the coming future. So Gold Key, thank you very much, Gold Key. He has done some excellent analysis on this. So I'm going to cover some of Gold Key's posts. So this is wild. Quinn Emanuel. So one of 11 lawyers, your boy Dicky has. That's huge. So Quinn Emanuel, the law firm representing Richard Hart in his case against the SEC, is the same firm that represented Elon Musk in his multi-billion-dollar securities trial in 2018 over the attached tweet when he wanted to take Tesla private. They won. And Elon avoided paying $12 billion in damages. Yes, Richard Hart has the same lawyers as Elon Musk, Pulsechain and Hex. Man, the reason why I have so much conviction in this is it feels like destiny. It feels like destiny that we're going to win. You can't suffer more negativity. You can't have more things thrown at you than the Hex and Pulsechain ecosystem has had thrown at us. Like delisted from every exchange, like blocked on Uniswap, like fudded everywhere. Every mainstream influencer fuds Hex. Nobody talks about us. They say Richard Hart is a scammer. Like you can't have more than this. The SEC, the huge dump, everyone like that you've onboarded is saying Hex is a scam. It's like you cannot get like the only thing that could happen that could be like any worse than the FUD that we've been through is if Richard Hart died or something like this. That's the only thing that can happen. And touch wood, it doesn't happen. And Richard, like, man, I hope he sleeps more. Like when this is also a part of the reason why I was so sad today. Like, I mean, hypocrite, because I'm also not sleeping well at the moment because I'm being a little degenerate, in the middle of the night, putting trades on. But Richard Hart, when you saw his eyes, the glaze in his eyes, and like he's working his ass off, man. He's working his ass off for everybody. It's not good for your body. It actually kills you. There's science that says it shortens your lifespan. It creates cancer. And I really hope he takes care of himself. Like this is the depth of the sacrifice that he's making for the rest of the world. Again, he hasn't lived in America for like 12 years. He doesn't need to do any of this. He could just be like, yeah, up yours, SEC. I'm not going back there, so I'm just going to ignore you. And that would be the best thing for him. He could just go live on an island somewhere, just go buy an island with all of his hundreds of millions of dollars. But he's not doing that. He's doing all of this to make the world a better place. And how many people are actually grateful for that? Like, that's another thing. Everybody's like, yay, we got green candles. Everybody's happy now because we got green candles, and everybody's coming out with all their pretend gratitude when things are actually good. But who was grateful when the prices were low? Who was grateful when he was working behind the scenes? And again, I'm not perfect. Again, when it was affecting me because I was over leveraged, I wasn't being grateful either. I'm not saying that I'm some perfect being, but it's like, man, I really got to reflect on myself even more. Like, yeah, I'm really ashamed of my actions, to be honest. So now more of Gold Key's tweets. The next one, the world needs to be made aware of how big of a deal Richard Hart's case is against the SEC. Couldn't agree more. This is something that really resonated with me when he came out with that Christmas video. Richard Hart is fighting to set the legal precedent that blockchains are speech. Therefore, using blockchains is a protected human right as an exercise of free speech guaranteed by the First Amendment. So I covered this in one of my previous videos, so check the link up here. When Richard Hart wins this case, it will be the biggest win in the history for all of crypto, blockchain technology, and financial freedom. Yes, it will. Tag people in the crypto and blockchain space who need to be made aware of this. So I'm going to start tagging people. I think we should all start tagging people in this because people just keep shitting on him. We've got people like Bankless. Is it Bankless? The guys who were crying on stream. Like these guys are like, these guys present themselves as the good guys. And I'm sure they're good people, but they're just being paid by Solana to pump Solana. Do you think Solana gives a shit about you? Solana doesn't care about you. The VCs in Solana don't care about you. Apple doesn't care about you. Google doesn't care about you. None of them care about you. They're not there to help you and make your life better. Actually, I should probably take that back. That's a terrible, terrible statement. I apologize, Apple. I apologize, Google. I apologize, Solana. That's a terrible statement, actually. But I don't think that they're actually there to make our life. Again, that's not really the right way of thinking about it. The technology that they've brought into the world is phenomenal. They're actually doing wonderful things for the world. But I think that they're more for generating wealth for themselves in like the true spirit of capitalism rather than actually helping other people. And that's something that I see Richard doing. Like, let's say that OA did start pumping the bags and it was Richard pumping the bags. Like, he doesn't have to do that. He's doing that for you. He's doing that to create millionaires who can make an impact on the world, a positive impact on the world. Do you think Solana's doing that? Do you think Apple's doing that? Apple's buying back their shares to pump the boys' bags. So is Google. They're all doing that, but they're not doing it to make you a millionaire. They're doing it to make themselves millionaires. They're not doing it for you. They're not doing it for you, but Richard is really doing it for everybody. And I don't think anybody really realizes that. It's a very rare character trait to actually be willing to do those sorts of things. And I think people really judge him a lot because of his outrage marketing. And I've tried to express this to friends, but they just don't listen. They won't listen to me. They're just thinking that I'm like psychoanalyzing from my own perspective. And hey, maybe I am, but I think I'm a very good read of character. You can really, when your mind is really clear, you can really get a sense of the vibration that the person is putting out into the world. You can really see the intention behind their words. You can feel the intention behind their words. And I think Richard is just an amazing character that is attracting other people to him because that's how the mind works. He's an innovator. Hex, like the first truly decentralized financial token, monetizes the time value of money. Monetizing the time value of money means stock markets are irrelevant, bonds are irrelevant, interest rates are irrelevant, the whole financial system is irrelevant. That's revolutionary. That's actually revolutionary. That took me like years for that message to actually go, oh, now I get it. Now I see what the hype is about. I used to think those guys were just gassing up Richard and I was jealous that he was getting all that love. Now I get it. It's actually freaking genius. Okay, so I think this is going to be our time. This is my prediction. This is my prediction. I think Richard is going to knock them out. He's going to knock them out. He's going to KO them. He's going to embarrass them. And it's going to be like a flawless victory. And he is going to be someone who's like, he's still not going to get his credit. He'll still not get his credit. He's still going to have all those people like, oh, he's a scammer because of human pride. People don't want to admit they're wrong. They don't want to say, I said something wrong. They will defend their incorrect opinion to preserve their pride, to preserve their ego. That's how wretched the human mind is. It will do that, and it will create wars based on that wretchedness. We will murder millions and millions of people based on that wretchedness of wanting to be right. That's how disgusting the human mind is. That's why it makes me sick. But I really think he's going to knock them out. There will be people in the spectrum of haters who are going to go, hey, he's actually done something amazing for the blockchain world. Your altcoin dailies, these guys who their perspective is going to shift. They're going to go, wow, Richard Hart's really done something amazing for the whole blockchain industry. There's going to be the whole sentiment shift. If the ETF does get approved, I think in a way it is good because TradFi now gets into it, but I think like, I really do believe I'm on the fence with, okay, how much can they actually control the movement of Bitcoin? Can they do it in the same way that they did with gold? So with gold, they actually hoarded all the gold first, then they started to manipulate the prices after that. They could do that with the gold ETF. Can they do it with Bitcoin? How much have they actually accumulated? Can they actually manipulate it against your Max Kaisers and Roger Vers and all these other massive Bitcoin whales. Can they do it? I'm not too sure. And if they can, then it's a real tragedy for Bitcoin, but it's opportunity for true decentralized finance. People are going to look at the next bull run and go, oh man, Bitcoin didn't even break its all-time high, just like gold has never broken its all-time high. Or maybe it has like once, I'm not too sure, but it's been like it went for a massive run and then it hasn't broken it since then. Maybe it'll end up doing the same for Bitcoin, and people are going to start to realize, well, this actually wasn't really all that great. Like these beautiful, easy cycles that we had, these 4-year cycles where it was easy to predict, it's broken. Where can I go for opportunities? I can't get a 10x, 50x anymore from Bitcoin. I can't even get it in Ethereum because it's too liquidity bonded to Bitcoin. Where can I get these gains? And then they're going to start to look for these kinds of plays. Decentralized finance. Richard's, he'll be out there. He'll be, fingers crossed, he'll be streaming again, and the ecosystem is going to continue to proliferate, and the results will do the talking. When the results do the talking, and I do believe that there's I do believe there is a probability that the Pulsechain ecosystem will have a very highly buffeted downside compared to what Hex was. I really think that this is going to happen because of the liquidity bonding. And I'm going to try and explain this towards the end of the video. So I think my prediction is he'll knock him out. Floodgates are going to open. Pulsechain is going to go ballistic. Everyone's going to be all euphoric. It's like, great, Richard was the king. Everyone within Pulsechain, there'll be people outside of Pulsechain who go, man, I wish I listened. Pulsechain was great. There'll be people who are like, nah, he's still a scammer despite all the evidence. And these guys are just like, they're just thoroughly trapped by their pride, and it's quite a shame. But time will go on, and then the Bitcoin ETF, and then Bitcoin's capped upside, and then people are going to be looking for opportunities, and it's going to be another second wave into Pulsechain. And then Pulsechain, because of how the liquidity bonding is working, which I believe is going to be one of the key narratives in the future of what actually true DeFi is, what actually is this like decentralized financial ecosystem that's being created in Pulsechain. At the moment, we're just like, we're in the medieval age, we're in the feudal age. We're just setting up the horses and carts. We're actually starting to upgrade everything. And I think once everyone starts to see, wow, what they've actually done at Pulsechain is phenomenal, I think it's got a high probability of being in the top 10 and staying in the top 10, perhaps even in the top 5, and cementing a place in the top 3. I really do believe that if it continues to grow and we continue to outbound and we continue to like attract people to us, the good kinds of people that we want, I think it's very, very highly possible. So with that, let's go into the charts. So obviously we've had a nice, look at this. From that bottom, I think the bottoms are confirmed. 50% up from the bottom, just over 30% to the sacrifice rate. Again, I think this could continue to pump. Gold whale started to move. So there's all this signaling in the ecosystem. Beautiful. Things are moving. Looking at the greens on Pulsechain, the 24-hour greens. In Atropa, the Maria 414 chat log by KKK. So all the KKKs are pumped. So cruel kangaroo court. Poor Zach, he bought this one. But I think it was, well, no one knows if it was a correct one or the wrong one, but there was this one as well. So this one had a nice pump. So I got into this. So this is why the chats were alight yesterday. This is what I was being a degenerate in last night, taking in some of these tokens. Rob, look at Rob. Huge pump. So I posted a thing the other day with Rob and Bill Burr. Rob has come back with the people's elbow on Bill Burr. So Bill Burr absolutely, let's have a look at this. Bill Burr got absolutely destroyed. And I want to highlight this, the importance of liquidity and how this actually works. So before I get into Rob and Bill Burr, all these other things, the Hex conference token, love the degenerates up. HOA, Crow, they're doing their thing. I think that's no nukes. This is the no nukes token. So part of the 414 ecosystem. INC. INC 36%. I might have to rotate some of that. That's a cheeky little pump. EHEX 36%. So 30% all across the board. Look at all this. Beautiful. Okay. So Rob and Bill Burr. So damn. Rob is going ballistic. Look at this. 123. Shane Schuler will be creaming his pants. Look at this. This is brilliant. So Shane Schuler is pretty much like he's a one-man band. He's trying to emulate his brother's success by creating his own token. And I'm sure his brother feels proud. Richard, if you're watching this, you should be very proud of your brother, Shane Schuler, and I hope that you reconnect with him one day. So he's dominating. So the other day I did a tweet, is the Rob, which is only one, there's one supply, and Bill Burr, there was only one supply. Look at this. So Bill Burr was up to here the other day, and then somebody destroyed it. this is what happens with low liquidity. So yes, low liquidity is good for the upside, but there's got to be like protective mechanisms in place. The ecosystem actually has to like come together to protect the price, because if it doesn't, this is what HOA does. They come together to protect the price, because if you don't, you can get wrecked, just like what Bill Burr did, because that is unfortunately totally like, I mean, it could recover. There's no doubt about that, but it has the potential to get destroyed. So at the moment, still all eyes are on BFF. So BFF had a nice 20x, had another 11x, and now I've just accumulated some on a dip. I'm going to keep scaling into this because, again, there is talk that this is going to go to 8K, and it doesn't actually need a lot of liquidity. So showing Bill Burr, it doesn't actually need a lot of liquidity to get to this price of 8K. So it's slowly making its way up, and didn't break its all-time high. It's dipped down, so I bought some again on the dip. If it keeps dipping, I think I'm going to continue to scale in because it's almost a 10x to the 8K. Once it gets to 8K, Maria's saying that she's going to start creating liquidity pairs, and that's going to lower the downside pressure. If there is no liquidity pairs that it's bonded to, then this can just drop very quickly, like what Bill Burr did. But if you start thickening it up and connecting it to other liquidity, this is the key. Then this one that I've also been monitoring as I was monitoring this, the no names token. It's looking very, very similar. I actually have to look at maybe I should have a look at what kind of bonding that this token is to, and also to BFF. So BFF's to no nukes. I'm not really too sure what this token is bonded to. You can check it on the Blockchain Explorer. I won't do that now, but it's moving very, very similarly. And I didn't actually realize this, but the prices are also very similar. So at the moment, this is 390. At the moment, BFF is 790, going for an 8,000 target. Could this also go for an 8,000 target, this no names token? So very interesting. And so again, with that liquidity, so again, I want to use Hex as an example. I think Hex, let's just say at its peak, it had every single token altogether, it's worth, let's say 4 billion, but in actuality, it only has about like 4 million that you can actually extract from it. Once you extract all of that out of it, because of the liquidity, it all drops. So everybody, it was bonded to like whatever, Ethereum and stable coins. And so once you extract out of that, the value of Hex drops too much. Now, if you imagine Hex was connected to BFF, was connected to this no names token, was connected to Pulsechain, was connected to Pulsex, was connected to all these other different tokens, HOA, ROB, whatever tokens, PRS, any other kinds of tokens, it's liquidity bonded with all these tokens, then there's all these pathways that you can start to take the Hex out of. And so its liquidity is thickened up. So its downside pressure isn't as much, because just like we saw in Bill Burr, when there's not a lot of liquidity, it can drop a lot. But then once it gets high and you thicken the liquidity by bonding it to all these tokens, you can extract it through all these different avenues. And people, by virtue of actually the market itself having interest in all these different tokens, will want to extract it into this token. Shane Schuler is going to want to extract it into ROB. The Tangang is going to want to extract it into HOA. Atropa people are going to want to extract it into Atropa tokens. Pulsechain people are going to want to extract it into Pulsechain tokens. People who want to buy a Ferrari are going to extract it into stable coins. And so this is the beauty. This is the beauty of the Pulsechain ecosystem. This is why, for me, it's like DeFi 3.0. This is like the renaissance of DeFi. This is going to be a DeFi that hasn't been seen in the world before. This is Hart's law systematically. It's not the linear version of Hart's law, which we've only seen up until this point, where everything's liquidity bonded, moves up and down together. That's like the linear version of Hart's law. This is like the systematic version of Hart's law, where things are interconnected, and all these interconnected things have different prices that are moving up and down in different ways. So it's almost like pulling a lever. So if I sell too much of this one, then so let's just say Hex and HOA, and then it sells into HOA too much. For example, it sells into HOA, and then it drops the price of Hex, and then HOA goes up. But then all of a sudden, HOA is also liquidity bonded to BFF, and then so people in HOA take profits in BFF, and then people who then it goes up in BFF, and then BFF to Hex. Hex is low, and they're like, "Well, this is a good rate to get into Hex." So then it goes into Hex, and then Hex goes up. So it's like this equilibrium of tokens. Oh man, the more that I see it, the more that I'm seeing it, the more that I'm observing this beauty, this symphony of tokens, this orchestra of tokens, the more I'm like, bro, this is going to be the envy of the blockchain world. Because when you saw in Solana, everything goes up and everything goes down together, it's trash. it's trash. I'm sorry to say to anyone who loves a lot, like, okay, I shouldn't be so negative like that, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not a good thing for everybody, whereas this can be a good thing for everybody. This can be a good thing for the whole ecosystem where all this imaginary money is buffeting each other. And again, it's just tokens. It's just tokens that are being ratio traded. So just like Hex has this imaginary value, HOA would have this imaginary value, BFF has this imaginary value, but that imaginary value can move into here, and that imaginary value can move into here. And people are just going to want to degen into ratio trading and accumulating tokens and building their stack. So on paper, my bag just keeps growing and growing and growing, and I can keep trading into all these pairs that it's bonded to. It's genius. It's absolutely genius. And I'm so excited about Pulsechain. I'm so excited about the future. And I hope you are too. Thank you very much. We'll see you later.